One excellent way to explore New York City is by going on the waterfront. There are many beautiful views to be seen and some historic areas because New York City was always oriented around the waterfront. So today let's explore the South Street Seaport in New York City. My name is Ariel. This is Urbanist, and let me know where you're watching from. We're starting right by the South Street station. Sorry, not South Street, the Wall Street station on the 2-3 line. There in the distance we see Trinity Church and we see Wall Street. And of course it's very empty. Usually it's very empty when it's not tourist season in this area. And on a Saturday it's even more empty because there's no offices, the stock exchange ain't open, many reasons. But that's good news if you want to experience more of the history of New York City, a little bit more at peace. Come to this downtown Manhattan area on a Saturday, and you'll enjoy it much more. So hello everyone, let me know where you're watching from. Old train sign. Welcome Václav, Clifford, Russ, Kay, Shirag, Suzanne, Dave, Vasilios. Elle, I'm indeed feeling better. Hello Anfrea. Hello Okiem. Hello Jonathan. Welcome. Hello Wendy, Will, Tommy, Penny, Teresa, Mary, Alan, Lena, Panagiotis, Roland, Jenna, Ron, Kyle, Natalie, Nasima, Ronald, Griffin, Osgin, Trisha, Spencer, Michael, and many others. Blue as well. Welcome. Hello Claire. Hello Martin. Hello Anna. So there's ice falling. Uh-oh. And they closed down this part of the street, so let's stay away. Hello Daros from Poland. Welcome. Hello Irene from Serbia. Nice to see you here. Hello Patty. The story of ice falling says, yeah, you gotta avoid. This entire block has been closed off. So we're walking here where there's no ice. But some of these buildings, since they stick out onto the street, ice might form and go directly downwards. Hello, Abby. And Ronald says, be part of Team Like. Yes, if you enjoy these videos, slam that like button. Hopefully not like ice slamming onto the street. Let's not do it that way. Slam that like button so we can bring more people into this broadcast and show everyone the beauty of New York City. And let me know if you're in Team Like. Hey, ooh, wow. Eugen says, once I had an icicle fall from like 10 stories high in front of me. Death passed in front of my eyes. Sometimes I can still feel the water drops from that icicle. Oh, Eugen, that was a close call. Will, thank you so much for being part of Team Like. Panajotis as well, and Shirley too, Wendy. Also Team Like. Hello, Andrea. Audra. See you in 19 days from Arizona. Oh, cool that you're visiting. Nice. So let's get our way to the waterfront, but let's make a coffee recommendation. Joe and the Juice, right over here. Not really the best coffee in my opinion, but it is a great coffee shop because it is a great place to have a nice respite. They have very comfy seating and also very ample seating. So even during peak tourism time, I usually like coming here, taking cover on either on a cold day like today or on a rainy day is one of the best places to do so. So also here they have an amazing sandwich called the tunicado. Highly recommend it, but ample seating. Pro tip for all of you. You can see how much seating there is. Indoor dining has resumed, so coffee shops are allowing people to sit inside now. Now there's also a coffee shop around the corner called Black Fox. Highly recommend that as well. And here, is it real tuna like Subway? Yeah, I think it is. Here is what used to be the New York Cocoa Exchange, but most people know it as the Continental Hotel, the fictional Continental Hotel from John Wick films. Cynthia says Black Fox is good coffee. Yes, I agree. Very good coffee. Hey, Joe says, if it has Joe in the title, it's good for me, says Joe. Yeah, yeah, Joe, you'll find many coffee shops actually in America with the name Joe. Please remind me where we're watching from again, but yeah, it's a very popular nickname for coffee. There's Joe Coffee, there's Joe and the Juice. There's probably many places called Cup of Joe. Mighty Bull, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. We're so close to the Mighty Bull, Wall Street. So here's Water Street. And I'm going to show you how to get to South Street Seaport. Now, we can walk on Water Street, but let's walk on the waterfront, which I think is a prettier view towards South Street Seaport. Hey, Petter says, have a coffee on me. Thank you so much, Petter. I appreciate it. Where did Cup of Joe term originate from? Asked Cynthia. You know, Cynthia, that is actually a great question. I don't know where the term Joe came from. Really great question. I know Java, because Java coffee for a while was imported mainly from Java, the nation. The island nation. However, Joe, not sure. That's a great question. If anyone knows, let us know. Was this underwater during Hurricane Sandy? Yes, it was, Doreen. Great question. Yes, it was, unfortunately. Many of the basement levels of these buildings were indeed flooded. I'm not sure how high the water rose. There's a great video by Casey Neistat on YT. It seemed at least knee height. So the thing is, right now where we're walking is on landfill. A lot of New York City's waterfronts are on landfill. And there's a whole lot of construction happening here. Malachi asks, what's my favorite place in New York? I recommend Soho. I just love Soho. Soho has the perfect combination of great coffee, great history, great architecture, and also great shopping if you're into shopping. I'm not so into shopping, but it also has that. And also great nightlife. So all that combination makes it one of the best neighborhoods in New York City to explore, in my opinion. But there's a lot of great places in New York. It's very easy to get to around via subway. Joe says it was me. I invented the term Joe. Cup of Joe. All right, Joe. Hey, incredible to think how such amazing buildings have been built on landfill. Yeah, imagine this huge building, this skyscraper, right over here. And we're literally, this stone, who knows how many offices are in here. There's actually in this, I think this is the building that has a World War I plane on the rooftop. So all this, and yet it is on a landfill. That's kind of surprising. Phil asks what's Soho. Soho is the one with all the beautiful cast iron buildings. Elevated acres nearby, yes. These deep basements and subways downtown took it in. A lot of water. Imagine if they were not there. Yeah, right. The water level could have been even higher if it didn't flood basements. Nomades. Como siempre, gracias por permitiéndonos a viajar juntos. Sí, mi placer. Nomades says, thank you for letting us travel with you. My pleasure. Here is the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Expressway, or Drive, actually. FDR Drive for short. Phil, Soho stands for south of Houston. Is this the West Side Highway? No, we are right now on the east side of Manhattan, hence why we can see the East River and Brooklyn. The other side is Hudson River, and that's the west side of Manhattan, and that's where the West Side Expressway is located. Venice is almost entirely on landfill. Yeah, I mean, landfill is used in most modern cities around the world. There's a good portion of them that use it. I mean, there's huge chunks of Paris also on landfill. So it applies. Rome has a bunch of landfill. Almost the entire city of Mexico City is landfill. Yeah. Is that ferry departing? Yes, it is. So this is the main ferry hub of the New York City ferry system. Also, water taxi stops here, and a few ferries that go to New Jersey stop here. So here we have Stephen. Stephen the seagull, right here chilling. He's looking for food. He's with his friend Jean-Claude, right down there. Yeah, the seagull. His name is Stephen. Stephen the seagull. And his friend Jean-Claude. They're all chilling here. Oh, look at that. And they're hanging out with Bob. Oh, that's a rarity. Usually Bob and Stephen don't hang out together. They're not really close friends. And here's the Brooklyn skyline. This is where we were last week. Hey, 18 Shasta, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, 18 Shasta. The seagulls can be aggressive. Do not throw bread. Yeah, I don't plan to throw bread. How it's going, says Rainer. I'm doing very well, Rainer. Thank you so much for being a member on YT. Susie says funny. It's different from the Japanese ones. Yeah, I can imagine there's a few differences with birds. But pigeons are also in Tokyo. That's what I've seen on an amazing live streaming show called Only in Japan Go with John Dobb. Really inspiring live streamer. And yeah, there's pigeons in many areas of the world. Also with seagulls. It's cloudy out today. Yeah, it is indeed cloudy out today. So right there, that's our destination. But let's take in this view a little bit more. How much does the ferry cost? $2.75. Does the boat go to Brooklyn? Yes, it goes to Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. However, you can walk just a mere 2 minutes away and get to Staten Island ferry as well. So you can get to all the 5 boroughs. And it makes, the most amount of stops it makes is in Brooklyn, then Manhattan. And Queens, it's starting to add more and more stops. Hello, Alexandra. Always inspired by your walks as inspired life. Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Also, thank you so much for becoming a supporter. So that's where we were last week. We explored the waterfront, the Brooklyn Bridge Park, and also we explored Brooklyn Heights. And we also went to downtown Brooklyn, where, so you're seeing those more historic skyscrapers. That's downtown Brooklyn, where Hoyt Schermerhorn stop is located. And then maybe soon we'll go a little bit further down in a week or two to Red Hook. So we found Ziomara. Ziomara's over here. Hey, Kyle. You stayed in Red Hook 3 years ago. Interesting neighborhood. Yeah, I agree. It is an interesting neighborhood. There's a few gems in Red Hook. Also, some interesting history. So there's a lot of great chairs here. This is a great waterfront. They revitalized this waterfront about like 10 years ago, around there. You must be in good shape, says Doreen, with all the walking you do. Yeah, indeed I am, Doreen. Indeed I am. And I love that there's chairs here that face the waterfront, and also there's a place to put like a drink down, or your cup of water, a cup of coffee. It's really interesting because a lot of waterfronts avoid having these flat surfaces to place things. But I can put my camera down. Hopefully it won't fly away. Hopefully Steven won't take it. Dare you to taste the white benches. Oh no. Phil. The only bench I don't sit on is a wet bench. Ain't no time to get a stench from sitting on the wet bench. Ooh, look at Industry Kitchen, how they changed up their outdoor seating setup. So lots of people come here brunching, and you can brunch with a view. This is a nice place to brunch. I don't know too much about the quality of food because I never tried it, but I can imagine it's a nice place to brunch just because of the views. Though you may have Frank join you. Don't leave the door too open unless Frank will come in. Again with the greenhouses, yes. Imagine during the summertime if they keep these. They'll literally become greenhouses. I like it too. And some restaurants do state it clearly that they do have a policy of opening up the greenhouses for like 5 to 10 minutes so it airs out after each party. It's best for the views. Food and beer selection is not so good, says Dutch. Thank you, Dutch. Yeah, I can imagine. They were selling a crazy expensive pizza. I think it was a $2,000 pizza. It was insanely expensive. Made with gold flakes, topped with gold flakes. Hey, Milagrosa from Spain. Bienvenidos. Vita says, in my opinion, it's not enough time to air out. Yeah, you gotta check with the restaurant and see what you're comfortable with. Though there's plenty of places as you walk around here in New York City where they're outdoors, but they have sufficient heating to feel warm. All right, let's go here. Let's see if we can actually walk here right now. Janice, thank you so much for 150 stars. Eugen says, hold up, $2,000? Yep, $2,000 pizza. Probably the most expensive pizza in New York. There's an episode on it in a great series on YT called Really Dough with Scott Weiner, who's an excellent pizza tour guide and the owner of Lucale. And he does visit that $2,000 pizza. Highly recommend it. Joe is on Team Like and is also on Team Chair. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Kurihara, hello. Iano desde Patagonia. Oh, bienvenidos. Pueden preguntarme cualquier cosa en español. Gracias por viendo este recorrido. So people are heading to brunch. You can always tell brunch. Hey, Golden, nice to see you here. So you can always tell with brunch, especially with women, because here in New York City, there's a tradition with a Saturday or Sunday brunch where women do get dressed up. They do wear high heels and dress to impress. It happens a whole lot here in New York City. Guys, not so much. They're usually always in jeans and sneakers. But who thinks guys should join in dressing to impress for brunch? Let me know in the comments. Should we return to the old days where men would go to the restaurant suited up? Let me know. Hey, Inkspire says, best place to come into from New York City from New Jersey into New York City. I don't think you can come into New York City from New Jersey into Grand Central. If you could, that would be amazing. Otherwise, I would say Moynihan Station. Don't go elsewhere. So here's the Winter Wonderland, the Watermark Winter Wonderland. We can't really see it from here, unless if we get a table. And there's a rooftop area, but it is closed because of the snow and ice. All right, let's walk. Now we're starting to see the New York City skyline. The Manhattan skyline, I mean. Hey, Arnell, if you want to see all the list of commands, put exclamation point commands, and you'll see all of them. I love to see a man suit up for brunch, says Andrea. So Andrea is team suits. I think one should always try and look their best when going out eating. Yeah, so that's one thing I've noticed, kind of one disparity I've noticed just by observation, that here, when you go to a brunch place, especially a fancier one, you see a lot of women very well dressed, but men, not so much. Sometimes, you do have very fashionable men here in New York City, but then you also see within the same restaurant men who are very shabbily dressed, wearing a t-shirt and maybe some type of ripped-up jeans and some sneaks. So you get that kind of disparity, which I always found interesting. So now here we're approaching the South Street Seaport and we're starting to see the waiver tree. One of the best kept fully ironed ships here in the US. It was used as a merchant vessel, sailed all the way to East Asia. It was one of the main ships that would go to China, to the port of Canton. I have a full tour of it on FB. It's very old. It's already 4 years old. But I got a full inside tour of it. Pretty epic. Ludo, can you visit the ships? The ships are currently closed due to the pandemic, and usually I think they also just close in general during the winter, I think. But I would say this summer they'll probably start opening up again, and you can visit the Waiver Tree. Highly recommend it. It's a really cool ship to visit. It was built in 1885. Carol, you love it down here. I'm so glad you do. Here you can buy tickets to the Circle Line. And the Circle Line prices are going down. They used to be very expensive, but now they're being much more competitive. Kay says, every time I've gone to that ship, it's been closed. Ah, that's a shame. Even pre-pandemic? Oh, I don't know why that's the case. Gotta sketch that ship, says Inspired. Yeah. Where New York begins, that's what it says. And if you want to know where we are currently located, you can see here that we are in Lower Manhattan. Sometimes people might call it downtown, but it's more officially known as Lower. This is the South Street Seaport area, and Statue of Liberty is right there. And of course we can see the downtown Brooklyn area from our perspective. And here's a photo showing the old ships. Ronald says that fellow viewer Neil Bull from France has a bigger boat. Oh, that's cool. Babu, indeed they did, and I will be discussing that history soon. Babu, yes, a very dark part of our history here in New York. So this is how the South Street Seaport used to look like. It was built on landfill between the 1790s and the 1820s. And for decades, it was the city's principal seaport. By 1900, Greater New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx all united together. And they end up having more than 600 miles of waterfront lined with wharves, warehouses, counting houses, piers, shipyards, rail yards, factories, and the list goes on. And all that gave business to bookkeepers and to tax accountants and to print shops to print manifests, and the list goes on. This place seems like Siberia, says Gato. Well, it's because the Ice Age has finally arrived and temperatures are dipping. New York City's being covered in a blanket of snow. Soon the glaciers will start forming in northern Canada, extend all the way to the city and bury the city in a mile of ice. That's why. This is the Ambrose, 1908. It was a lightship. The waterways around New York connected it to the world. In the 19th century, they fostered a mighty expansion of manufacturing and industry in this region. New York led the country in garments, sugar refining, publishing, a whole host of other industries. Because a lot of the raw materials that arrived here were raw sugar, cloth, raw textiles, and it transformed finished products for sale throughout the US and the world. The city's dominance as a manufacturing center and transportation hub peaked during World War II, when more than 60 million tons of cargo and more than 3 million armed forces sailed from the New York harbor, playing a crucial role in the success of the Allied soldiers during World War II. Hey, Thomas, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. I appreciate you. Chris says, anyone remember the first Ice Age? It's a bit fuzzy. It's a bit fuzzy. Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Susie says, I have good eyesight. I do indeed. Look to the east and you'll see saltwater tidal strait known for centuries as the East River. Yep. This is actually not a river, it's a saltwater tidal strait. Flowing right through the 4 boroughs of New York City, its banks were once home to dozens of piers, shipyards, factories, and railroad terminals. Now it's largely surrounded by housing, parks, and city services. However, the very first stream ferry linking Brooklyn and Manhattan was right here at the foot of Fulton Street and linking all the way to Brooklyn Heights. That's why Brooklyn Heights ended up growing about 200 years ago. And the Brooklyn Bridge became the first bridge to span the river when it opened in 1883. Today, there's 7 bridges, 11 railroad tunnels, 2 road tunnels, the Midtown and the Battery, and numerous commuter ferries across the East River. Hey, Tatiana from Vienna. Get a flamethrower, recommends Type O. Is that a viable method of taking out the snow without burning down the entire boardwalk? Hey Ariel, did the area have elevated train yards in the past? Yeah, there was an elevated nearby. Since we're on the east side, the elevated should extend as, I think, towards the Brooklyn Bridge, but might have extended a little bit further down. If anyone can let me know for sure, but I think it might have extended further down. Alexandra's in Team Like. Yay. Susie, you saw the bodies exhibit here a few years ago. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look at the rays of sunlight coming through the clouds. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Shining upon Governor's Island. The helicopter is flying overhead. Inkspire Light, thank you so much for tuning in. Daryl, you watched archival footage. Yes, you can find plenty of archival footage of the elevateds and also the Seaport as well. There's a few videos well intact. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Bridge. And behind it, the Manhattan Bridge. Connecting to Dumbo. The ferry stop, the original steam ferry, it was right there. Let's go back. Daryl, oh, that's so cool. My friend Jennifer is back on YouTube. Yes, she is indeed. Tom says big constructions. Indeed, yeah. There in the distance, we start to see the Manhattan Municipal Building. And here's like a new venue. The name, if anyone can remind me of the name of this venue. There's a rooftop venue and restaurant and bar. It used to be a huge mall, but not anymore. Hey Gwen, you remember going to the food mall? Yeah. There used to be a mall with a huge food court. It had all the classic fast food places here in the U.S. like Wendy's, Burger King, maybe even a Taco Bell, maybe Arby's, a Roy Rogers maybe. Perfect sky today. I agree. Colleen says, thank you for all you do to everyone. My pleasure, Colleen. My pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Chabs. Nice to see you here. Oh, waitress. You said that the John A. Roebling suspension bridge in Kentucky was a prototype for the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah. They were a very well-known wireframe company, the Roeblings. And yeah, they built that bridge. It's cool to know. The rooftop of Pier 17 is called the Greens. Thank you so much, Dutch. You can hear the seagulls. Yeah, you can hear them in the distance. Here we see a photo of a fish seller. And this was a very familiar sight in New York City back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. The oyster shuckers. These guys were trained to open up oysters very quickly and serve them to you. And oysters were a street food in New York City. Basically, before the hot dog became the hot dog or the pretzel or the pizza, it was oysters here in New York. And they even cooked up oysters and made oyster pies and made fried oysters, and they did a bunch of different things with oysters. They made everything out of oysters. But then that disappeared because we ate them all. Yep. By the 1890s or so, almost all the oysters were extinct from the East River and the Hudson. There used to be trillions of oysters, and then it went down to none. Raw oysters, curijadas? Yes, we used to eat raw oysters. I remember back in the day when I was hanging out in this area in the 1890s, you know, there would be all these vendors yelling, oysters, oysters, get your oysters. And they would just serve them raw from the sea. And when I used to walk these streets after, you know, doing, cracking down on the gangs of 5 Points, I would remember tasting the sea from those oysters. Oh, wait. I did not live in the 1890s. I am not immortal. That is from the history book. Yes, the history textbook. I learned that in the history textbooks. I was not alive in the 1890s. I was joking. Hey, your vitamins. Thank you so much for a $20 super chat. Very generous. Thank you. Trisha says that is a vampiro. Trisha is accusing me of being an immortal, immortal vampire. I am not, indeed, Trisha. Alexa says I look good for being over 100. Yeah. I've never been in here. This is my first time here. All right, guys. Let's take the Lincoln. Heb says I do not look 200. Yes, of course, because I am not 200 at all. Not even the least bit. I definitely was not alive in the 1890s. There's like a little restaurant here. Hey, Aya Vlogs. Thank you so much for everything. Aya, thank you so much for tuning in. Aya, fellow live streamer, does a great job of being super joyful with everyone. Highly recommend checking her out. Aya Vlogs. Jay says, was working. How do you know so much? Jay, I definitely don't know because I was not alive back then. Definitely my knowledge does not come from personal experience. This is my new car, a Lincoln. Here we have some street art. But Ronald says, you do not look a day over 200. Oh, thank you, Ronald. That's quite a compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't feel like I'm in the South Street Seaport area anymore. It is way different from what I expected. So this is like a, ooh, I like this. This is a nice setup. Because you're still outdoors, but you're not bombarded by the wind or eating in snowy street. Let's see what's upstairs. So this restaurant looks kind of cool. Malibu Farm, I like it. Dig the look.
She's always wearing a red hat.
Hey everyone, just one rule here is let's not talk about other streamers. I understand some people are very joyful and excited about seeing all these live streamers, but let's focus on the show at hand. It's like coming to someone's party and saying, "Hey, this other person is having an awesome party. You should go right now, right now." You wouldn't do that at a party, so let's not do that here. Thomas says maybe a coffee. Let's see if there's a coffee shop here. I'll be curious if there is one. But there are public restrooms. This is cool. There are public restrooms. That's awesome. And the greens is on the rooftop. A lot of people coming in here, surprisingly. Let's see what's around here first. What is this? Oh, empty. All right, let's go up to the greens. Hey, Brian, nice to see you here from Hong Kong. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Oh no, you say I had lunch with Aristotle. It's definitely not the reason why I know so much philosophy. Hey, someone mentioned how text is reversed when I flip to selfie mode. Yeah, I wish these apps would automatically correct it, because if you use a DSLR camera and flip the screen and do a selfie, it actually shows you the reverse image, so it's easier for you to film yourself. But they correct it automatically. I wish they would do that here, but it's not the case yet. I can't control. And they're checking for a table, so we can't. All right, let's go back down. Very bad service. All right, let's go back downstairs. Poor service here because it's probably a very big metal building. That's why. All right, we're going back down. So are you guys able to see me again? Seems like there's bad service up there. Lots of heavy metal. And no, I'm not talking about the music. I'm talking about the steel beams that sometimes impedes on service. But pro tip, there's bathrooms here. And it seems like they're clean and big, which is awesome. So new public bathrooms, so all you know about. Yeah, let's go out here. Oh, dead end. But there's a heart here. Look at that. Oh, this is nice. A little heart. Ooh, this is a nice little area. Wow. Great place. Look at this. This is nice. Another heart, another dimension, yes. Another love portal. Can we go out through here? No, it seems like this is locked. There we go. Photo moment. I don't have my Bernie mittens today. All right, let's go back out. Seems like a cool area to hang out during summertime. But let's go to South Street Seaport for our final stop. There must be tons of proposals here. Yes, I could imagine, yes. Hey, Carrie Ann, you love watching your live video tours and information. Thank you for sharing it with us. My pleasure. Your streams are tremendously fun and unique and insightful. You got a good flow. Love the heart. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoy. Hey, thank you so much, Avi. And we have a lot of new members and supporters and patrons. You could do it through FB, YT, or Patreon. Thank you everyone so much for becoming new super urbanists. You get bonus content. One bonus live stream called the Urbanist Insiders Club. All right, it seems like we're getting close to 300 likes. So right now, before we go to the historic South Street Seaport area, slam that like button. Slam that like button as they slammed New York City with a bunch of raw materials to refine it into manufactured goods. Slam that like button as we slammed the raw sugar and made it into processed sugar to make all those wonderful treats like Oreos here in New York City. And let me know if you're on team like. Because if you press that like button, it brings these videos to people who need them. There's a lot of people here who've been watching these past few weeks who have messaged me saying, thank you so much for showing me New York. I couldn't travel this season, and luckily now I can see New York from the comfort of my own phone. People who can't travel for other reasons, might be monetary, might be due to health issues or whatnot. This type of videos brings them joy. And don't just press like buttons for me, but also for all my colleagues out there, like Aya, who's tuning in right now. So press that like button. Bring New York City to more people. Melody says you're the best. All right, so now let's go into historic South Street Seaport. Right here, we have the Sarah Jessica Parker shoe store. She has very few stores in the world. If anyone could let me know what's the number. I think there are maybe a dozen or less. But there's a line right now. And she drops new shoes all the time. So I think she's inside. Oh shit. Oh, SJP's inside. Yeah, she is inside. Everyone. Sarah Jessica Parker. Right there. Oh, that's so cool. Carrie, so that is Carrie in Sex and the City. And I gave you a peek. She's inside. She's hosting the tour. Helping people buy their new shoes. That is amazing. Oh, that's so cool. So that is Carrie. I don't want to point the camera too much to her. Let her do her thing. But you can replay that video. I showed her face. That is Carrie literally inside the SJP store. So if you're in the New York City area and are a customer for high heels, go here. If you need your high heels for brunching, buy them from SJP. They're apparently very cheap. They're cheap compared to, I know, other stores. Very interesting business that she has going on. Yep, she's literally working in the store. Let me take another peek at the store. I do not know her. Is she famous? Yes, Kurihara. So for people who don't know, Sarah Jessica Parker is the main star of the hit television series Sex and the City, which is going to be rebooted soon. Let me pop in for one look. And she's there running. Oh, that's so cool. That is awesome. I'm personally like a huge fan of Sex and the City, and I think she did such an excellent job at, just being the perfect Carrie for the show. So I also admire her, starting her own shoe business and taking it seriously. It's really cool. It's a great example of a celebrity maintaining the business, but having heart in it. This is by no means sponsored by them or anything, but I just admire that type of philosophy, because you have a lot of other celebrity businesses where the person's not really involved. That's okay. I get it. You want to create passive income and put your name on it. That's okay. But I really appreciate that her heart is in her business. And I would love to do the same one day with the Urbanist coffee shop. So maybe one day in the Urbanist coffee shop, you'll see it around cities around the world. And yeah, she is married to famous actor Matthew Broderick, who's most well known for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and also known for the revival, both the play, the musical, and the movie of The Producers. So here's McNally Jackson, and McNally Jackson is one of the best bookstores. This is a tiny little bookstore, but it's beautiful, it's nice, intimate. Highly recommend coming here. Support your independent bookstores. Also for War Games, yes, indeed, he was the main star in War Games and a few other famous films. He was also the main voice for Lion King as well. Many people learned about brunch or the Hamptons through Sex and the City. Yes. So I've had a lot of New Yorkers and people in other major cities tell me, brunch was popular before Sex and the City. But I think the getting dressed up and the going to fancy places and having a cocktail did get popularized because of Sex and the City. Because they showed it very frequently in that show. So that's a great observation. I like it. AR, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Laureen, send a PayPal. Thank you so much, Laureen. Laureen is one of the amazing, oh my God, a huge slab of ice fell down. So let's stay away from this. Laureen is a awesome mega urbanist, one of the few out there who supports on all 3 platforms and also PayPal. So huge hearts to Laureen. So here is the South Street Seaport Museum, and highly recommend coming here when it's open again. Currently closed, but I also have a video. I have a lot of videos on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Go to my Facebook. Basically any attraction you ever want to see in New York, I have it there. I've been inside, I've shown it. I've just been doing YouTube only for about 6 months now, a little bit less, 5 months. Mulaney says, always look forward to my Saturday walks. Oh, I'm so glad you do, Mulaney. Thank you so much for the super chat. Did Sex and the City do bottomless brunches? They did not depict a bottomless brunch, I think. No, I don't think they depicted specifically, but they did depict them drinking mimosas and Bloody Marys, which are 2 very popular cocktails for brunch. I like the red brick building. So here is where the Fulton Fish Market used to be located. This entire building has been refurbished in order to allow for the movie theater, a restaurant, and maybe a few other things are currently used for. I think a furniture store as well. Pedro is asking, what is a bottomless brunch? I'm so glad a lot of people are interested in brunch. Let me know if you guys are interested maybe in a brunch explainer video. I know it's also a concept in the UK, but I think it's slightly different here in the US. Let me know if you want brunch explainer video, because I've used a lot of terms and people were like, oh, what's that? What's that? Bottomless brunch means that you have unlimited cocktails for a certain amount of time. So maybe you pay like 20, 30 bucks and you get unlimited cocktails for an hour or 2 hours. And you can drink as many mimosas or Bloody Marys or whatnot that you would like. Usually they're specifically brunch cocktails for bottomless brunch. Not like heavy cocktails like a Negroni. Otherwise you'll get drunk way too quickly. So let me show you a secret alleyway. So here is Cannon's Walk. Cannon was a child of French Huguenot immigrants, and he came over here and opened up his business right in front of the waterfront. The water used to be right here where I'm standing. However, throughout the years, it has gotten more and more land filled. But the thing is, this is one of the very few alleyways to have survived in New York City because Manhattan doesn't have too many alleyways. So this was built in the late 1790s. Let's see if we can go inside. Oh, they have it locked today. That is shocking. They have it locked. Usually this is open to the public. Yvonne says yes to a brunch explainer video. All right, cool. Look at that. So it's closed, unfortunately, but check out my previous videos on it. Also appeared on Here Be Bars video on the secrets of Manhattan. And we go inside. Carlos says brunch tomorrow. Indeed. Well, stay tuned. 1 p.m. on Tuesday, I'm doing a live video of one of my favorite coffee shops where they sell some very interesting Korean treats. So we're going to a Korean coffee bar on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Stay tuned. Wow, likes are moving up. Oh yeah. That like button is moving up. Oh yeah. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll show you. We'll crisscross these streets, and I think we can do that in about 15 minutes or so. So if you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. So here's a Brazilian coffee bar called Café Patoro. I really haven't tried their coffee, but I do recommend them for their pastries. They have some really unique pastries. Really, really unique pastries. And they also have some Brazilian, I'm not sure how you call it, balda. I forgot the name, but it's this like kind of sweet bread. Oh, Jack's Coffee is closed. Here, right here, we have Van Leeuwen. Ooh, Van Leeuwen. One of my favorite ice cream shops in New York City. Top recommendation for all of you. Some old ale houses. Oh, wow. Beautiful seafood restaurant. Gorgeous, look at that. Is Brazilian coffee sweet? You can have it sweet, but no, you can have it black. It's they serve the coffee just like you would at any other normal coffee shop. Nothing too different. Wow, look at this. Hey, Gretchen says, thanks for showing my face. My pleasure, Gretchen. Yeah, I like to show my face. I know it's not so common with live streamers, but I don't know. I like my face, so I'm going to show it. If you like your face, show it as well. I mean, you can't on this live stream, but I mean, with your own endeavors. Let me know if you like your own face. Let me know in the comments. Wendy says, like yours more. Carmelo likes his own face. Yes. We got a few people who like their faces. Yes. So there's a few restaurants here open. Mary, you love my mustache. Oh, I'm so glad you do. Spring and summer is coming. Oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. Cynthia, I like my face, but not in photos. Touche, touche. Babu says, people who look good usually think they don't. Oh, well, Babu, that must be a very sad existence. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what other people like. If you like your own face, that's what matters the most. Doesn't matter anyone's opinion. You are the ultimate authority whether a face is to your likeness or not. Kuriya says, I miss Thai green curry. Oh, yeah. I bet in Japan there's a Korean Thai restaurants. Dwayne says, I was told I look like John Lennon. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's awesome. Hey, Bob. What are you doing here? At least I don't look like The Weeknd, says Mund. Indeed. Carmelo, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, Carmelo. So here is one of the oldest bars in the South Street Seaport area. I don't think it's open anymore. Yeah, it's been gutted. Oh no, it's been gutted. But this is one of the older bars in South Street Seaport area. It's been here since the mid-1800s at least. Ever do the history on Audrey Mudson? Yes, check out my video on the Titanic Memorial in Upper Manhattan. So this is one of the oldest bars in New York City on the corner of Water Street. And what is this intersecting street? Dover and Water. Now the interesting thing about this bar is that it had a little dark twist to it. There was a jar inside this bar filled with ears. Yeah, filled with ears. According to old legend, one of the original owners was a very savage gang leader here in this area, the South Street Seaport. And she collected ears. If you messed around with her, she would collect your ears and put them in a jar and then run the bar. So don't mess with that woman. If anyone can remind me of her name, do let me know. But yeah, this used to have a jar of ears. Not anymore, at least. That would be, I don't think that would be up to health code. The health department probably won't like that. She was all ears. Indeed she was. So like Bill the Butcher, yes. So it wasn't Bill the Butcher, no. She just took the ears, not everything. And here we see the Brooklyn Bridge. I wonder if she pickled them. Maybe. AR says she was an audiophile. All right, let me show you this little garden. I haven't seen this garden. What is this garden? Had my first date here with your hubby, says Jen. Oh, Jen, that's so cool. Did he tell you about the story of the ears? Probably not the best first date story. Probably not. You would be get shanghaied. Yes, waitress. Waitress is talking about a concept, practice that people used to do where they would kidnap you and put you on a boat, and then you will wake up and the boat was already heading to Shanghai, and in Shanghai you had to do manual labor to get back to New York. Yvonne calls it a sound bar. Indeed, the bar was quite sound. Oh, I like this little community garden. Look at this. Glad it was only ears though, says Robert. Indeed. Ears only. SF Field says, I'm having nightmares tonight. I feel you, SF Fields. I feel you. Let's go through here. So here, they found, as they were gutting and restoring the archways underneath the Brooklyn Bridge on the Manhattan side, they end up finding a wine cellar and a huge, massive collection of wine that is like 100+ years old or more, right here in this area. Dwayne says, fortunately, to get info on the bar then cost an arm and a leg. Yeah, it only costed an ear. Her name was Mag Perry? Was it Mag Perry? Yeah? Thank you. Those archways are designed originally as a walkthrough. Yes. And Gallus Mag, thank you so much. Gallus Mag was her name. Gallus Mag was the owner of the bar, who had an affinity for ears. So let's go for our final stop, which is the Titanic Memorial. Yes, there's an actual Titanic Memorial here. And let me know if you have any questions. And one more time, slam that like button. Let's bring these videos to people who need them around the world, who are on lockdown, who can't go due to financial reasons, or are just not really wanting to walk around for hours a day. Rather someone else do it for them. So let's bring it to those people. As many of you have watched for those reasons and many other reasons. Some of you want to learn more about New York City and are writing things down, waiting for your travels. So let's bring it to all those people. Let's go a few blocks down to see the Titanic Memorial. Was that jogger going to a bottomless brunch, says NYC? Who knows? You know, you would be surprised. As I mentioned, men come in all different types of attire when it comes to Saturday brunch, and you'll be surprised. Sometimes they come in shorts and yellow sneakers, sweaty to the brim, ready to have a bottomless brunch with their date that is in a beautiful dress and high heels. I've seen that in New York City before. I'm not exaggerating. We need a brunch experience video. I think that is called for, yes. Stay tuned. I've shown a brunch before at Bubby's. Check it out. My video on Bubby's. So here we see more of the historic buildings. And we basically walked the entire area of South Street Seaport. Now we're walking back to Fulton Street, which is the main thoroughfare. Dave, feel free to discuss anything about history, food, travel, New York City specifically. Otherwise, all comments, feel free to chat and see another video about those specific topics. Justine Gallus Mag, the owner of the bar, was a female bouncer. Her name, Gallus, originated from the men's suspenders that she was fond of wearing. Yeah, indeed. Any ghost stories in this area? Great question. You know, I think there is one ghost story, but I don't recall off the top of my head right now. Not that many, but there should be at least one. Gallus Mag is definitely associated with a few hauntings. So here is the other part of the museum. This is where they show the stationery or the print shop that used to be here. It still looks intact. They still have a modern, well, they still do classic printing today, to this day here at the stationery store. And here on 1912, April, a ship, the greatest ocean liner to have ever sailed, failed to arrive to New York City because it hit a gigantic iceberg. This iceberg caused a terrible, terrible crash, sinking the Titanic. Rose lost Jack. Many other people lost their lives. This is the memorial lighthouse for the Titanic, which was lost at latitude 4146, north longitude 5014, west, April 15th, 1912. The lighthouse was originally erected in 1913 above the East River on the roof of the old Quintus Slip. It was right above the old Seamen's Church Institute on the corner of South Street and Quintus Slip, which was a little bit further down, actually much further down. And from 1913 to 1967, it stood right there. And it had a time ball on the top. Time ball might look familiar because it looks like the ball that they dropped during New Year's. Well, it's because the New Year's celebration is inspired by the time balls that used to be on top of little lighthouses and ports all around the world. However, it was moved to here in 1968. Let me show you to you from afar. Huerito says, take us to mob sites. Stay tuned because I will be finally doing mafia history in Little Italy. Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming later next week. A lot of people have asked for it. I usually don't cover those topics, but this will be a very few exception of covering some mafia history because it ties into Italian immigration. And also stay tuned every Wednesday and Saturday at 1 p.m. Tuesday, 1 p.m. I'll actually be live again doing a live video of amazing Korean coffee bar with some amazing treats. I'm so excited for this. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for many more videos to come. Mafia history coming later this week and many more awesome adventures. And if you're a supporter, a patron, or a member, aka Super Urbanists, thank you for lending your support on a monthly basis. Because of you, I'm able to continue showing you places all around New York City and beyond. And someone asked me, how do I know so much history? Well, it's because I research a whole lot of history. And even though this specific broadcast was not specifically a research tour, I do a lot of research tours. Haven't done, the last one was the churches of Brooklyn Heights. I still know a lot of other historical facts because I just do general research overall. And because of your support, I'm able to take the time to do some deeper research of history. So keep being awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. My heart will go on.